At least 50 dead in the Las Vegas shooting, 400 taken to local hospitals. Come on in, please. Fox News strategic analyst Colonel Ralph Peters. I'm intrigued. That's the wrong word to use, Ralph, and I'm sorry I used it. But look, we've got a man in a hotel room who must have fired off 300 or 400 rounds. He must have planned this. Am I right? You're a military guy.
Yeah, well, obviously very carefully planned, and I suspect he put well over 1,000 rounds into that crowd, and certainly several hundred. But yes, clearly planned. He's got an arsenal of at least 10 rifles in the room, according to the sheriff's department. And he waited for days until he got just the right environment. I mean, he even had the plan to break open a window in the Mandalay Bay. Those windows are hard to break open, so yes. But Stuart, let's face it, this was an act of terror. Just because it was not motivated by religion or didn't necessarily have political ends doesn't make a difference. It was an act of terror because it terrorized. It was intended to terrorize, to punish a population. And my concern at the macro level is that terrorism, this lone wolf terrorism, is becoming a default position of self-affirmation, of self-expression across the world. Whether it's this guy in Las Vegas, we'll see how that turns out. We need to know more about him and his background. Or this church shooter in Charleston, or the Islamist who butchered 2 women with a kitchen knife yesterday in Marseille, France. The copycat nature of it, the inspiring it, worries me.
And you can't, it's very hard to see how you stop it. I'm thinking, first of all, in terms of the pedestrian rundowns that we saw in London and in Nice. You can't stop that. How do you do that? And now we have someone firing down into the crowd, hundreds of rounds. I mean, some people say if there were more guns on the ground, you could stop the shooting just as it starts. But that wouldn't have helped in this situation. The man was firing down into the crowd. I suggest you can't stop this stuff, and that's what makes it extremely frustrating.
Yeah, if the guy has no trail, if there's no backstory that the police know about, it's very hard in a free society to do anything about it. But, the idea that an armed crowd would have made a difference, if it made any difference, it would have been worse. And I am a gun owner. I will always be a gun owner. But the Founding Fathers didn't want every juiced-up psycho to have a machine gun collection. We need to look at what kind of weapons they had. They were clearly, this guy had military-grade weapons, and where he got them, because the automatic rifles are illegal for the average citizen to own. So we need to look at that. But when I listened to those tapes, what really chilled me was the volume of fire he was putting out.
Yes.
And it sounded, I mean, to me, even if you have an extended clip, that's usually 30 rounds max. I was listening to bursts that were more than 30 rounds.
He must have had a drum. Yeah. Well, it's possible that he had a drum magazine. Possible.
And even so, he was flipping certainly magazines fast, even with a drum. Yeah. He had multiple weapons. I mean, this should not have happened. But as you just noted, Stuart, how could we have prevented it?
Hold on for a second, Ralph. I just want to read some tweets that are coming in from world leaders. They're sending their condolences. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau tweeting this: words fail this morning. The friendship and support of Canadians is with the victims in Las Vegas and the people of the U.S. Then we have UK Prime Minister Theresa May with this: the UK's thoughts are with the victims and the emergency services responding to the appalling attack in Las Vegas. Now, moments from now, in about 30 seconds, we're going to take you to the New York Stock Exchange and to the NASDAQ. They will hold a moment of silence, and we will observe that moment of silence. I've got 20 seconds before then. Ralph, quick thoughts, please, quickly.
Well, to be honest, bluntly honest, I was always surprised that Islamist terrorists didn't hit Las Vegas at such an obvious target for their creed. But now we have a situation where an American did it.
Yes.
And
Ralph,
it goes beyond words.